If I'm being honest, the night my life changed didn't feel extraordinary at all. It felt ordinary. Too ordinary. I was standing outside a quiet bookstore after work, waiting for a taxi that never came. Rain had turned the street into a sheet of silver. My phone battery was dying, and I was exhausted. The kind of exhausted that settles into your bones after years of rebuilding a life you never asked to rebuild. That's when he appeared. A tall man with calm eyes, holding an umbrella big enough for two. He stopped right in front of me and said, "You look like you've had a long day. Need some help?" His voice was warm, disarming, almost gentle. He told me his name was Mark Whitfield. He looked like someone you could trust, someone who'd show up when you needed them, the kind of man who notices things others overlook. Maybe that's why I let him help me jumpstart my car. Maybe that's why I didn't question why he happened to be there, exactly when I needed someone. But here's the part that still chills me. When I thanked him and introduced myself, his smile didn't change, not even a flicker, as if he already knew my name. "Lena," he said softly. "I'm glad I ran into you." Ran into me? No. Looking back, I realize he was never a coincidence. He was the beginning of a story I didn't know I was trapped inside. A story where love wasn't the blessing it appeared to be, where trust was a weapon, and where every moment with him was a step toward a truth he'd been hiding from the very first night. But that night, I didn't know any of that. I just saw a man kind enough to help a stranger in the rain. A stranger who wasn't a stranger at all. For the next few days, I couldn't stop thinking about Mark. Not because he flirted, not because he tried anything, but because he didn't. He was perfect. Too perfect. He texted only in the evenings, never during work hours. He remembered everything. The tea I liked, the book I had been reading, the street where my mother used to take me as a child. We started meeting for coffee. Small gestures, small conversations. Nothing that felt dangerous. Just warm, easy company. A softness my life hadn't seen since before the divorce. Every time I walked into the cafe, he already had my drink waiting. "Chamomile with honey," he'd say with a smile, like we'd known each other for years. But then things shifted. One evening, we were sitting by the window when he said, almost casually, "You shouldn't walk home alone at night. It isn't safe." I smiled. "It's 3 blocks. I've been doing it for years." Mark's expression changed. His eyes hardened, just for a second, barely noticeable. "Still," he murmured, "I'd feel better if you let me watch you get home." I laughed it off. I thought he was being protective, affectionate. But that night, as I walked home, I saw a reflection in a store window, a tall shadow pausing under a streetlight, following my pace. I turned around. No one, only the wind moving through the dark. The next day, Mark mentioned the book I had listened to the night before while cooking, a book I hadn't told him about, a book only someone standing outside my window could have heard. That was the first time a chill crept up my spine. Not fear, not yet. Just something off. But the truth? I still wasn't ready to believe that anything was wrong. I had spent so long being alone that a man noticing me felt like a blessing. I didn't know then that Mark wasn't noticing me. He was studying me, tracking every habit, every movement, every vulnerability, preparing for something I couldn't see coming. And by the time I realized it, I was already too deep in his version of the story. It happened on a Thursday. A long day. Back-to-back meetings. The kind of day when your brain feels too tired to question anything. When I got home, my apartment door was slightly open. Just an inch. Just enough to freeze me in the hallway. I stood there holding my breath, listening, waiting. Nothing moved inside. No sound. No shadow. I pushed the door open slowly. Everything looked normal. My couch, my bookshelf, the half-dead plant by the window. Nothing out of place. But the air felt wrong, like someone had been standing in that room just moments before I walked in. I walked toward my bedroom and stopped cold. My mirror, the one on my dresser, had a single fingerprint smudged across the corner, a smudge too large to be mine. I forced myself to breathe. Maybe I brushed against it earlier. Maybe it was old. That's what I told myself, because denial is easy when the truth is terrifying. I tried to shake it off, took a shower, made dinner, turned on a movie. I was halfway through it when my phone buzzed. It was Mark. Mark, you home safe? Me. Yes, just watching something. Mark, the comedy one? The part you laughed at was cute. I froze. I hadn't told him what I was watching. I hadn't posted anything. I hadn't said a word. My heart thudded against my ribs. Me, how do you know what I'm watching? He replied instantly. Mark, lucky guess. No, that wasn't a guess. A cold realization crawled over my skin. He had been here, in my home. Maybe tonight, maybe yesterday, maybe every night. I stood up, moved slowly to the hallway, and opened the coat closet. I don't know why I did it. Instinct? Fear? Something deeper? Inside, behind my jackets, tucked into the shadows, was a phone charger. Not mine. A black one. Long cable. Brand new. My throat tightened. Mark carried the same one. Suddenly, my apartment didn't feel like a home. It felt like a nest someone else had been sleeping in, watching, waiting. That was the moment the truth slammed into me. Mark wasn't just interested. He wasn't just protective. He was obsessed. An obsession never ends gently. I didn't know what to do next. But one thing was certain. Whatever Mark wanted from me, he wasn't going to ask for it. He was going to take it. I didn't sleep that night. Not even for a second. Every sound outside my window felt like footsteps. Every car horn felt like a warning. By sunrise, my hands were trembling. I packed a small overnight bag, grabbed my laptop, and headed straight to work. Somewhere crowded. Somewhere he couldn't follow me quietly. Or so I thought. By noon, I had made a decision. I would stay at a hotel, just for one night, clear my mind, plan my next steps. I told no one. Not my coworkers, not my sister, definitely not Mark. I booked a room under an old spelling of my name. Lena James, not Lena Jameson. Paid in cash. Took side streets. Switched cabs twice. By the time I reached the hotel, I actually believed I had outsmarted him. But the moment I opened the door to my room, I knew I hadn't. Sitting neatly on the pillow was a single white envelope. My name. My real name. Written in handwriting I knew too well. Mark's. My stomach turned to ice. I didn't want to open it. I already knew nothing inside would be good. But my hands moved anyway. Inside was a small Polaroid photo. Me, standing at the hotel entrance, taken just 10 minutes earlier. Below it, a note. Running already? I thought you trusted me. My knees nearly buckled. Someone had followed me. Someone had watched me switch taxis. Someone had watched me pay in cash. Someone had watched me walk through that lobby. Mark wasn't just obsessed. He was tracking me. I dropped the photo and scrambled for my phone. I blocked his number. I turned off location services. I even removed my SIM card. But fear isn't technical. It's biological. And every cell in my body screamed, "Leave, now." I grabbed my bag and rushed to the elevator. I kept my head down, avoided eye contact, prayed he wasn't already inside the building. The elevator door slid open. and for a split second I saw a reflection behind me in the polished steel. Tall, male, standing far too close. My breath caught. But when I turned, the hallway was empty. I didn't wait. I ran. Out the doors, into the street, toward the crowd. I didn't stop until the hotel was blocks behind me. For the first time, I realized something horrifying. Mark didn't care about being seen. He didn't care about consequences. He cared about control. And he wanted control over me. I thought I had escaped. But I hadn't escaped anything. I had walked straight into a trap he had set long before we ever met. Because now I understood the scariest truth of all. Mark had never been following me. He had been waiting for me. I didn't go home. I didn't go back to the hotel. Instead, I ducked into a crowded cafe and collapsed into a corner seat, hands still shaking. I kept replaying everything. The photo on the pillow, the note, the way he always seemed to know things I never told him. There had to be an explanation. I dumped the contents of my bag onto the table. Wallet, charger, receipts, lipstick, a few loose coins. Nothing suspicious. But something still felt wrong. Like I was missing the obvious. I stared at my purse itself. A plain black leather bag Mark had surprised me with on our 1-month milestone. "You deserve something nice," he'd said. "Let me spoil you a little." Back then, the gesture made me blush. Now it made my skin crawl. The lining looked thicker than normal. My heart pounded as I tugged gently at the fabric, and a small section lifted, revealing a seam I had never noticed. Inside it was a tiny device, black, no brand, no buttons. A tracker, a tracking device. My stomach dropped. He had been watching me since day one. The restaurants I went to, the nights I stayed late at work, every place I thought I was alone. He always knew. Always. A wave of nausea hit so hard I had to grip the table, not just because he tracked me, but because he had planned it before our relationship even started. My hands shook as I wrapped the tracker in napkins, shoved everything into my pocket, and rushed outside. I needed help. Real help. There was only one person I trusted enough to call. Daniel. Calm, steady, dependable Daniel. The man I had only ever seen smile through a soft sadness. The man whose friendship felt safer than any relationship I'd ever had. "Lena?" he answered immediately. "You sound terrified. What happened?" I swallowed hard. He's following me. He's been following me since the beginning. I found something in my bag. "Where are you?" Daniel asked. "I'm coming right now." Minutes later, his car pulled up. The moment I got in, the panic I'd been holding back broke, and I burst into tears. Daniel didn't ask questions. He didn't push. He just placed a steady hand on the steering wheel and said, "You're safe now. We'll figure this out together." For the first time that day, I believed it. But even Daniel didn't know the full story. Not yet. Because there was one more secret. One I hadn't told anyone. And it was the reason Mark would never let me go. Daniel drove without speaking, letting me breathe, letting me try and fail to steady my pulse. The rain started again, soft and cold against the windshield, blurring the world outside. Inside the car, it was quiet. Safe. Almost too safe. Like the calm before a storm. "Lena," Daniel finally said gently. "I'm here. Whatever it is, you can tell me." I stared at my hands. There were a million ways to explain it. A million ways to soften the truth. But none of them felt right. So I said it plainly. "Mark and we worked at the same company. And a few months before I left, I found something." Daniel's eyes flicked toward me. "Found what?" I took a breath that shook. A folder on his desk. Password protected, but I managed to get it open. It had files on employees. Their salaries, passwords, medical records, even their families. Things he wasn't supposed to have. Daniel frowned. "That sounds like corporate surveillance." "It was worse," I whispered. There were emails, plans. He was going to sell the data. All of it. Daniel's grip on the wheel tightened. "And you confronted him?" "No." I panicked. I took screenshots. I copied one of the files. I thought I'd report it later once I felt safe. But I never did. Because the very next morning, Mark told me he loved me for the first time. And suddenly, everything got blurry. Fast. Too fast. He made me feel chosen, seen, special. And that folder, I convinced myself I had misunderstood it. Daniel exhaled slowly. "You think he knew you saw it?" "I don't think," I whispered. "I know." Mark's words echoed in my skull. "You're the only real thing in my life. I would never let anything hurt you. I always know where you are. Beautiful." Every line was a warning I'd mistaken for affection. "He kept me close," I said. "Not because he loved me, but because he was afraid I'd expose him." Daniel nodded slowly, piecing it together. "So the tracker wasn't about jealousy," he said. "It was about control." "And insurance," I whispered. "If anything ever happened, he'd know exactly where I was." We pulled into Daniel's driveway, the house dim and quiet. He turned to me. "Lena, he's not going to stop. This isn't obsession anymore. This is protection of a crime." His voice was steady, but his eyes carried a fear I'd never seen before. I swallowed. "There's one more thing," I said. Daniel waited. "The file I copied. The one that proves everything." I looked at him, trembling. "It's missing." Daniel froze. "Missing? How?" I searched everywhere. My laptop, my cloud, even the old USB drive. "All gone?" I nodded. Daniel leaned back, jaw clenched. "Then he didn't just track you," he said. "He got into your devices." The room felt smaller. The world felt smaller. "He's covering his tracks," Daniel said. "And he's terrified of what you know." My voice barely came out. "Daniel, what am I supposed to do?" He looked at me with a quiet, fierce resolve. "You're not going to run," he said. "You're going to fight back." And for the first time since this nightmare began, I believed him. Daniel didn't let me stay alone that night. "Take the guest room," he insisted. "You'll feel safer here." And he was right. For a few hours, wrapped in clean blankets with the hum of the house around me, I actually slept. Until the knocking started. A slow, deliberate tapping. Not loud, not frantic, but rhythmic, like someone wanted to make sure we heard it. My eyes snapped open, a glance at the clock. 2:11 a.m. I held my breath, listening. Tap, tap, tap. Daniel's footsteps moved down the hall. A moment later, he appeared at my door, jaw clenched. "Stay here," he whispered. I followed him anyway, quiet as possible, my heart hammering against my ribs. We crept toward the front window. Daniel pulled the curtain back 2 inches and froze. "What?" I whispered. He didn't answer, so I leaned closer. My breath stopped. A bouquet of red roses sat on the porch, but not normal roses. They were soaking wet, freshly cut, dripping with rain, the stems uneven like they'd been hacked with a dull knife, and tucked between the petals, a note, handwritten. "You look beautiful when you're scared. Maine." My skin turned to ice. "He was here," I whispered. "Not just here," Daniel said tightly. "He knew you'd be here." We backed away from the window, both of us shaken. "How did he know I wasn't at my apartment?" I whispered. Daniel answered without hesitation. "The tracker on your car." My mind spun. "But I walked here." Daniel cut me off. No, he wouldn't risk assuming. He'd check, which means I finished his sentence. "He's been watching my apartment." Daniel grabbed his phone. "We're calling the police." But before he could dial, my phone buzzed. A text. No name. Just a number I didn't recognize. My blood turned cold. "Why are you hiding? I'm just trying to talk." Another message followed immediately. "Let him protect you. It won't matter." Daniel took the phone from my shaking hands, reading the messages, his jaw tightening. "He's escalating," he said. "This isn't jealousy. This is surveillance. He feels like he's losing control." Then another text came in, and this one made my stomach drop. A photo of me, taken earlier tonight, taken through Daniel's living room window. My knees nearly buckled. "He's close," I whispered. "He's watching us right now." Daniel stepped closer to me, shielding me instinctively. "This ends tonight," he said. His voice was low, steady, deadly calm. "We're going to outsmart him, Lena. But first, we play along." I blinked up at him. "What does that mean?" He took a slow breath. "It means you're going to text him back." My heart lurched. "What? Why?" "Because if Mark thinks you're afraid, he gets bolder. And if he gets bolder, he gets sloppy." I stared at him. "Daniel, this is dangerous." "So is silence," he said. "And right now, he has all the information. We need him to make a mistake." Outside, the night felt thicker, quieter, like it was holding its breath with us. Daniel handed me my phone. "Lena, trust me?" I swallowed hard. Something inside me, the same instinct that pulled me toward Daniel the first time we spoke, whispered a steady yes. I typed slowly, fingers trembling. "Okay, Mark, I'm listening." Then I hit send. Daniel exhaled. "Good," he said. "Now the real game begins." The second I hit send, I regretted it. My pulse thundered in my ears. My palms were damp. I felt like I had just opened the door and invited a monster inside. Daniel stayed close, watching my face, watching the phone, watching the window, as if danger could come from any direction. My phone buzzed immediately. A message from Mark. "Finally, I was starting to think he convinced you I'm dangerous." Daniel snorted under his breath. "Projection. Classic." Another message came in before I could react. "Come outside. I'm not far." My entire body locked. Daniel took the phone gently. "No, he wants you isolated. He wants control. He wants a reaction." He began pacing slowly, thinking. "He's confident right now. Too confident. That's good." I swallowed hard. "Why is that good?" "Because confident people get sloppy," Daniel said. and he just slipped. I frowned. How? He held up the phone. Look at the timestamp. I leaned closer. 2:19 a.m. So? I whispered. Daniel pointed toward the window. The roses were already soaked when he left them, meaning he placed them in the rain. But the rain ended at 1:40. My breath caught. So he's been close for almost an hour. Daniel nodded grimly, which means he's hiding somewhere he feels safe. Somewhere dark, elevated, with a clear view of this house. My voice cracked. The hill behind your yard. Daniel didn't deny it. He grabbed his flashlight, but kept it off. This is where he expects you to panic, he said quietly. Not where he expects you to think. Another vibration, another message. I'm waiting. Don't make me come to you. Those words, they hit me right in the spine. I typed back with shaking fingers. Mark, I'm scared. Please just talk. Daniel nodded approvingly. Good. Keep him believing he has control. Mark replied instantly. Then step outside so I can see you. I felt sick. Daniel gently touched my shoulder. You're not going anywhere near that door. We need him to reveal more. My phone buzzed again. If you don't come out, I'll come in. And you know I always keep my promises. Daniel's expression shifted. Cold. Calculating. He wants movement, he murmured. He wants confirmation you're reading. He wants to escalate. He held up the phone. Tell him you need 5 minutes. Say you're trying to calm down. My fingers trembled as I typed. Just 5 minutes. I'm shaking. Mark responded with 3 dots flashing. Then, fine, but don't make me wait. Daniel exhaled softly. We have 5 minutes to trap him. My eyes widened. Trap him? Daniel, what are you talking about? He took my hand. Not gently, not softly, but urgently. Lena, he's close. Too close. This is our chance. And I'm not letting him disappear into the dark again. I shook my head. We should just call the police. We will, Daniel said. But if we call now, he'll run. He's hiding in the trees. He can vanish in seconds. He released my hand and looked at me. Truly looked at me. You're not fighting this alone anymore. My throat tightened. Daniel, I'm scared. I know, he whispered. That's why I'm staying right beside you. Outside, something cracked. Twigs, leaves, a footstep. We both froze. Daniel motioned for me to stay behind him. My phone buzzed again. I can see you moving inside. My knees buckled. He's watching us, I whispered. No, Daniel said. Now we're watching him. He lifted the flashlight slowly, aimed it toward the trees, and clicked it on. For a split second, just long enough, something flashed back. A face, half hidden behind a tree, a shadow bolting uphill. Daniel cursed under his breath. That's it, he said. He panicked. He ran. He grabbed his phone. This is the evidence we needed. I leaned against the wall, shaking. What do we do now? Daniel lowered the flashlight and stepped closer. Now, Lena. His voice was steady, sharper than ever. We hunt the man who hunted you. The police arrived 30 minutes later, lights flashing blue across the wet grass. But the forest behind the house was silent again. Too silent. Mark was gone. The officers searched, took statements, and assured us they would increase patrols, but Daniel could see it in their faces. They thought this was just another jealous ex, not a predator, not a man who planned. When they finally left, the house felt colder, too still, too open. Daniel locked every door twice, checked every window, then turned to me. We're not staying here tonight. I stiffened. But no arguments, he said, grabbing his keys. He knows this house. He's mapped the area. He has hiding spots. You're safer with me. I didn't fight it. I couldn't. Not when the trees outside felt like they were holding their breath. We drove in silence. Rain tapped against the windshield like restless fingers. I watched the mirror again and again, convinced I'd see headlights following us. Halfway to Daniel's place, he finally spoke. Lena, he's escalating. This isn't about love or regret or jealousy. My voice was barely a whisper. Then what is it? Daniel's jaw tightened. Control. Disappearing it. Reclaiming it. Punishing you for slipping away. I wrapped my arms around myself. I wish I had never trusted him. Daniel's eyes softened. You will never make that mistake again. But then, my phone buzzed. For a second, I couldn't breathe. I raised it slowly. The message nearly made me drop the phone. A picture, taken through a window with my curtains. The angle, the grain, the faint reflection of the glass. It wasn't my house. It wasn't Daniel's car. It was Daniel's living room. I stared in horror. Daniel. He glanced over. When he saw the picture, he slammed the brakes so hard the tires screamed. He's in my fucking house, Daniel said through clenched teeth. He backed the car up violently, turning around. I grabbed his arm. Wait, Daniel, we should call the police again. We will, he said, breathing hard. But I need to know how he got in. I have alarms. I have cameras. I have locks no one could guess. He paused. No one except someone who knew me. My chest tightened. Daniel, what are you saying? He didn't answer. He just sped toward his darkened house, jaw set, eyes focused, heart pounding loud enough I could almost hear it. When we arrived, his driveway was empty. No sign of Mark. No broken windows. Daniel stepped out slowly, flashlight in hand, shoulders tense. Stay behind me, he whispered. The porch creaked under our feet. He unlocked the door with shaky hands. The living room light flicked on. Nothing. Nothing moved. Nothing seemed disturbed. Until Daniel's gaze fell on his bookshelf. One book was missing. He froze. Lena, do you know what book used to sit here? I shook my head. He ran a hand through his hair, voice trembling with a new kind of fear. My security journal, passwords, camera codes, door patterns, my entire fucking brain. My blood ran cold. How would he know where you keep that? Daniel turned to me, slowly, too slowly, because I only ever told one person. My heart dropped. Who? Daniel's voice cracked. My brother. I stared at him. I didn't know you had a brother. He swallowed hard. We're estranged. Haven't spoken in 3 years. But Mark worked with him. They know each other. I felt the floor tilt. So this wasn't just obsession, I whispered. Daniel nodded, eyes burning. This was coordinated. My hand shook in mine. Daniel, what does Mark want? Daniel exhaled shakily. He wants you, Lena, but he wants something bigger from me. My voice trembled. What? Daniel's answer chilled me to my core. He wants revenge. Daniel locked the front door behind us, then leaned against it, breathing hard, as if the weight of the truth had finally fallen onto his shoulders. I stood frozen in the middle of the room, gripping my trembling hands together. Daniel? What aren't you telling me? He swallowed, eyes flicking toward the bookshelf again, toward the missing security journal. Then he forced himself to meet my eyes. Mark didn't find me by accident, he said quietly. He came because someone sent him. My breath hitched. Who? Daniel hesitated, then spoke a name I had never heard. Caleb. I frowned. Who is Caleb? Daniel closed his eyes. My brother. The room felt suddenly colder. Daniel? What does your brother have to do with Mark? What does he want with us? Daniel rubbed the back of his neck, pacing. Caleb and I built a startup years ago. He handled finances, I handled tech. One day I found irregularities. Money missing, accounts altered. When I confronted him, he snapped. Said I ruined everything. said I betrayed him. He stopped pacing, and then he disappeared. My voice trembled. So Mark worked with him. Daniel nodded. They were roommates. Close. Too close. Mark was loyal to him, almost obsessively. The puzzle pieces clicked one by one. So when Caleb disappeared, Mark came for you, I whispered. Not at first, Daniel said. But 2 months ago, Caleb emailed me. No words, just a picture. He pulled out his phone and showed me. A picture of me, standing outside my bakery, smiling at a customer, completely unaware. My heart lurched. Oh my God. Daniel's voice cracked. Caleb knew I liked you. Knew I talked about you years ago. Knew you were the first woman I trusted after everything. His jaw tightened, guilt clouding his eyes. Caleb sent Mark to destroy the one thing he thought I didn't deserve. The air left my lungs. This was never about me, I whispered. Daniel stepped closer. It became about you. He saw how much you mattered, how strong you were becoming. And people like Mark, men who thrive on control, they target strength. They twist it until it breaks. My voice was barely a breath. So, how does this end? Daniel reached behind a cupboard and pulled out a black USB drive. When the police searched my old apartment years ago after Caleb vanished, this was all they found. I didn't know what was on it. He plugged it into his laptop. A folder popped up. Insurance. Daniel clicked. Inside were videos, messages, documents. The first video loaded automatically. Caleb appeared on the screen, pale, furious, unhinged. If anything ever happens to me, Mark will finish what I started. My stomach flipped. Caleb leaned closer to the camera. And Daniel, you're going to lose everything you love, just like I did. The video ended abruptly. Silence swallowed the room. Then, thud, somewhere in the house. Daniel stiffened. That came from the basement, he whispered. I clung to his arm. No. No, Daniel, don't. He put a finger to my lips. I won't let him hurt you. He picked up a metal flashlight from the table, held it like a weapon, stepped toward the basement door. But before he reached it, the doorknob turned, slowly, deliberately. My scream caught in my throat. The basement door creaked open, and Mark emerged. Face bruised, eyes wild, breath ragged. He tilted his head like he was studying me. You weren't supposed to be here, he murmured. Daniel stepped in front of me. This ends now, Mark. Mark smirked. Oh, it does. But not the way you think. He held up a phone. A video was playing. Caleb's voice echoed from it. If I don't survive, then neither do you. Daniel's face drained. Caleb is dead, he whispered. Mark smiled. Oh yes. And now, you're going to join him. He lunged. Daniel grabbed him. They crashed into the wall. I screamed, searching desperately for something, anything to help. Then I saw it. The cast iron skillet on the counter. I grabbed it with both hands. As Mark raised a knife toward Daniel's throat, I swung. Crack. Mark collapsed. Silence. Daniel pulled me into his arms, shaking. You saved my life, he whispered. I clung to him. You saved mine first. Police sirens wailed outside moments later. Mark survived, but he would never walk free again. And Caleb's files, his accounts, his schemes, his threats, exonerated Daniel completely. Weeks passed. Peace returned. Healing began. One evening, as Daniel and I stood in the backyard watching fireflies blink in the dusk, he took my hand. Lena, after everything, if you want to walk away, I'd understand. I tightened my fingers around his. I'm not walking away, I said softly. I'm finally walking towards something. He smiled, tired, relieved, full of a future he thought he'd lost. Together, he whispered. Together, I said. And for the first time in years, the night felt safe.